am. Just so grateful to be here. Grateful to be alive. I feel like my grandfather is, his name was Lloyd, Grandpa Lloyd, is here with me lots because I hear myself saying some of the things that he said, right? And you used to ask him how he was. He's like, it's a great day. I'm on this side of the ground, right? And things like that. And then some, not so popular, like there's more than one way to skin a cat. Like that's just a helpful saying, but you have all of these Lloyd-isms or grandpa-isms, right? And so I feel his presence with me lots lately because I'll say something, I'll like, where the hell did that come from? Oh yeah, that's my grandpa. Yeah, grandpa is here with me. I had an incredible conversation with Sarah yesterday, and her and I talked about something, and I said to her, oh my goodness, I totally need to share this with the group. It's just another way for us to be in awareness of our intellect, right? Our conscious thoughts, to listen to the things that we say, or if you have somebody in your life that's a trusted source that can point out maybe some of the sayings that you say that you're not even aware of it, right? For example, is it 7 or 10 days ago when Karen from the call comes to us the call heard me say it, like I'm working really hard at my health this year, and she's like, well, how about we don't work hard since you have a resistance to working hard, right? You don't want to work hard. How about we let that go? And so it's having people around you that can also catch those phrases that we might not even know that we have, right? And so as Sarah and I were talking about something, she was sharing something, and I realized, oh yeah, I've done that myself. And so we were given the gift of a really simple exercise. And the exercise is as follows: when you are feeling something, or you hear yourself saying something that you know isn't in alignment with the truth of who you are, then take a moment, and if you can write it down, but take a moment in the following statement and say, I delete the following. And write down whatever comes to you that you feel that you need. It might be an emotion, it might need a thought, it more than likely is attached to a belief, which is really what we're looking to delete, right? And all the things kind of associated with that, right? So for me, it would be, a belief that I would delete, and then all past experiences I delete all past experiences that were evidence of that, right? I'm no longer that person. And so I don't need to have those same experiences, especially what we're talking about is our Groundhog Days, and go, man, I'm pretty sure that I've, moved through that pile of poo. And so I thought, well, what if we just I delete that? Like, I've had that experience. I'm good, right? And I always love to bring, my a little bit of saucy humor, right? Bring my sauciness into it. Like, I'm good. I've had that experience about 10 times, right? I do. Yesterday, I said to Divine, if there's something that I'm missing in having this repeated experience, then could you show me what I'm missing then? Because obviously I'm not getting it. Like it's a Groundhog Day, I'm not seeing it. So how about we show it to me in a different way versus through this same experience? Because I feel I'm quite intelligent, right? I feel like I'm, have some I have some EQ amongst me as well. I think I'm open, to receiving, and I'm not receiving this message. So how about, can I have it delivered in a different way? But that's not just the only piece of it. And pardon me, not but and the next step is to call what it is that you do want. So call in the belief that you want, call in the feeling that you want, call in the outcome that you want. So you're deleting one thing, and then it, by nature, by law, it needs to be replaced with another. So what are you replacing it with, right? Anytime you work with a fitness coach and you're going to develop a new habit, they're going to let you know you need to let go of an old habit and replace it with a new habit. This is kind of the same psychology, right? So what do you want to call in instead? Again, that can be a belief, an emotion, a feeling, an outcome. whatever. And more than likely, I sense that will be the opposite of what you're deleting, right? It'll be the opposite of what you're deleting. Now, when you're bringing or calling something in, it's important for brain science purposes that you state it as an affirmation, right? Because that's how our brain functions. So, for example, it would be you wouldn't want to say, "I call in not being worried," right? That's not a positive affirmation. Right? So you want to change those words so it's the positive words. This can take time, especially for problem solvers, because we tend to see problems like right, and so we know what we don't want. It can be more difficult for us to rephrase it with something that we do want. So just, you're right, just be in awareness of that. And the next step that we came yesterday was then I choose to amplify. So if you're deleting something and you're calling in something, you have the opportunity to amplify something. Now, it might be the same thing that you called in, or it could be something completely different, right? And when I was working on this yesterday, as I was thinking about it, what would I want to amplify? And I would want to amplify joy. I would want to amplify prosperity. I would want to amplify, focus. So for me, it might be like a different, whatever's going on in my life, different things that are happening, right? I want to amplify, and it might not even have to make sense in English. Like what came to me is like, I wanted to amplify my audience for the summit. Well, that's not proper English. I get that, right? But does it really need to be? I don't think so. I don't think we have to worry about being the right, like in the right form of English. It's a feeling, right? It's a sense that we'll have. So the steps are, I delete the following, and then you list either the belief, the emotion, the feeling, the experience, right? The Groundhog Day experience that you want to delete. Call in, I call in, and then again, can be a belief, an experience, an action of some sort, and I choose to amplify, and then that's the next piece. Now, what's interesting, so, oh, good, no, Kel, thank you. What's interesting is the word choice. And this, because at first I thought, well, when I was working on it yesterday, because I've never done these steps before. This just kind of came through when Sarah and I were talking yesterday. And so afterwards I went to, okay, so I was doing the work after, right? When I will amplify, and I heard this, no, don't change the words. I choose to amplify. Now, you might choose a different word. Maybe amplify doesn't, resonate with you. Maybe the word choice doesn't resonate with you. And you need to honor that. The benefit, though, of the word choose, it's empowering. It's an empowering word. It shows us, I guess, examples of how powerful we are. It's kind of like when someone, when you're in a situation and you're responding or reacting in anger, and you'll say, "You make me so angry," or "I'm so angry," or "This makes me mad." Simply by stopping and pausing and saying, out loud or internally, I'm choosing to be angry. I'm choosing to let this situation affect me. I'm choosing to react to this, or I'm choosing to respond to this. I'm making the decision, right? I'm choosing to be fearful. I'm choosing to be angry. I'm choosing to be worried. I'm choosing doubt. When you own that, right? Versus I'm afraid, because when you say I am afraid, you are owning it anyhow. I have fear of this. You're owning it anyhow. And there's amazing opportunities in being radically honest with yourself. This is why you can have that. And you also want to be aware that it's a choice, right? It's a choice. Now, sometimes I get it. It doesn't really feel like a choice, right? Especially if you're in a relationship with someone and you're frustrated or angry at the situation. You may feel like you're frustrated or angry with that person. And it's more than likely a core wound or core fear is being triggered. And so you're not angry at the person, you're angry at the situation, or frustrated or hurt or whatever. And it's a choice. It's a decision. Otherwise, if you just let it go, right? The 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 consequence is that you're disempowering yourself, because you're such a powerful human being. Every moment that you can remind yourself how powerful you are will place you in a position of your own authority, right? And that is so very important, because this is where I think the confidence, where we can lean into, and the confidence and self-esteem and self-love. I remember so many times I was waiting for confidence to happen, and then I would do the thing. And that's not actually how it works. You do the thing, and then you become confident because you feel the experience, you see the experience that you did the thing. Even if you did the thing and it wasn't the outcome you desired, or you did the thing and you didn't do it as well as you thought, the confidence comes afterwards. But we've been programmed or conditioned, a lot of us, not everyone, to uh, get confidence, get it, like you're gonna, I don't know, pick it up, like pluck it out of flowers or something. That's what came to me. I'm gonna go get confidence. I'm gonna go to the grocery store and get confidence, like I would go get apples, right? And it doesn't work that way. It's like, I'm going to be confident. And if I don't know how to be confident in this particular situation, can I lean on someone or lean into someone who has the confidence that I can do the thing, right? So this again is, we're a mentor, a guide, someone that you trust, and that you can have open conversations. And sometimes that can't be our spouses, right? Because they want what's best for us. They want us to be happy and safe and secure. And as you're unpacking all of this, it may not feel safe and secure to them. It may trigger their safety and security. So there's nothing, it doesn't mean anything. There's no meaning to it if you have a spouse, a significant other in your life, and they're not able to be the support system in this, right? It has absolutely no meaning at all. It's just that you're looking for somebody with a certain skill set, right? That loves you and also is okay if you're uncomfortable, right? They love you and it's okay that you're uncomfortable. What came to me as I was working through this exercise yesterday is, we've talked a lot about being the frequency of what you desire. So when you talk about the amplification, calling in, and the amplification, that also is sending out the frequency of what you desire and calling it and naming it, right? And then if you want to bring in the universal laws in this, you can then bring in the I am so happy and grateful now that, and make the statement as if it's happening. And you can bring in the gratitude statements, right? Which are your I am statements. Because as we send out, whether you think it, whether you write it, or whether you say it, in my point of view, it's important to do all three. Is it absolutely necessary? No. Will you manifest what you desire without it? Yes, absolutely. What I do know, though, about the science of it is that thought travels differently, right? And we think in pictures, so you're using a different part of your brain. And then when you speak it out loud, sound travels differently. So it's just an opportunity at 3 different vibrational levels. So that's just simply the science behind it. 3 different vibrational levels for you to make that same statement. And for some of you, that will really resonate. And for others, you're like, I'm just going to think it and I'm good. And again, right, you need to be in awareness of what works for you. That's the most important piece of it, right? All right. And I think there's one more message that I have. Mm, I read this morning. So it's kind of random. It's not really connected. And so let me see if I can recall the words that I heard. If you are a coach or a consultant and in your process of sharing your information, and it's more has to do with less like let me read, less to do with what we do on social media, but more to do with when if we're doing like a webinar or some sort of lead strategy or um, bits and pieces. What's the other word that I heard? Like sales conversations. One of the things that happens within us is that we're so excited about the possibility of someone's life being different because we're in awareness that if they work if they work with you, if they work with us, that their life will be different. And a lot of us are guides and teachers by nature. And I was reminded that when guiding someone, when teaching somebody, right, in that particular situation where you're having a conversation or like a webinar, so like some sort of lead gen strategy, is share your best information. I've said that over and over again, like don't hold back. So that's a piece of it. But the other one of the challenges we have, sorry, I'm stumbling because I'm searching for the words, the English words, because it came as a feeling. If you over deliver in your content because you want people to feel like you have so much value, so it comes from a lack, right? I just want to share everything because I want them to know how much I know, and so I'm creating value by over delivering. It's different. Like, do you feel the energy of I'm sharing because I want to share my best with you, or I'm sharing because I'm desperate and I'm trying to get clients and I want to over deliver so you see how intelligent I'm. That's all at an unconscious level, right? I want to prove to you how smart I am. That would have been mine, right? I want to prove to you that this is what I know. I want to prove to you that I have the strategies that you need. It's a proving energy. If you enter into a conversation, I guess this is where it would be social media, would it be including this? If you're entering into a conversation and you're trying to prove your value, right? What ends up happening is there's an energy behind the proving of the value that people will feel versus even hearing the words that you see. So it becomes an energetic, if someone says no, that could be a possibility of what's going on. Or is that proving piece has that lower density energy to it. And so when you're teaching somebody, it's so important to teach like the one piece versus here's the entire strategy, and not because you need to hold back, but because it's like everything else. I could say to you, here's the 7 steps to embody the universal laws. I could teach that, right? And if I gave you the 7 steps and had you feel like with those 7 steps, your life would feel completely different, then you would feel like, right? You would trust me in that. Your life would be completely different. However, there's no way, I'll use myself as an example, there's no way that how to embody the work can be taught online by a PDF in 7 steps. It's an experience, just like what you do is an experience. So there's a strategic piece behind this, and I know it can be can be confusing in what I'm saying. So please just, feel the energy of the words versus like, right, the logic behind everything. But there's a balance. Again, that word comes up. Isn't that funny? Where I was like, I don't believe in balance. Now I've used it twice in 2 days. Funny. There's a balance, right, of sharing the information and over delivering because there's out of a lack, right? And then people's experience is that, oh, I have all the things that I need. And then they go away with thinking that they have all the things that they need, and then they don't, right? And then their experience with your brand, and this is all unconscious, their experience with your brand is, I thought I had everything that I needed and I don't. And then they go searching for someone else to assist them. So it can simply be, from a strategic perspective, it can simply be, right? Like for me, what I would say is, I'm going to give you the 7 steps so you have the information. However, the work, like the opportunity, is in the daily practice, is in learning how to transition the information into application and then embodiment, which can lead to transcendence. And that cannot be completed in a 1-hour webinar with the 7 steps that I'm going to be giving. Like, just, I think, laying it out that way. And that's how I would do it. And so for you, you might do it differently. You need to follow your heart, follow what works for you. So we're not holding back on any information, right? And we're also being honest, with people, letting them know, like, yeah, I can give you the information, but, and there's like steps after that. And so I'm seeing it over and over again where people are making all these promises, and they mean well, right? So there's no like judgment in it, but they're making all these promises, and then the delivery can't be there because you actually need to work with them, right? And there's this illusion of, I'm going to give you the 7 steps to like successful 7-figure sales, and then you like, oh, right, oh, I might have the steps, but I don't actually, right? No. So in the world of marketing, what they tell you is give them the what, but not the how, right? So that's what marketing people, right? Give them the what and not the how. And there's a part of that, yet that makes sense, doesn't it? And the part of that makes me want to vomit, right? Because that means for me, this is my own personal, and is it a pile of shit? Could be, like my own personal pile of poo. Like, I will not dispute that at all. And so for me, that feels like a bait and switch, right? And so if you feel like that would be a bait and switch, then just ask your divine self, how can I present the information and in a way that doesn't feel like a bait and switch? So for me, I would probably say, hey, I'm going to give you the what, and we don't have time to give you the how. The how comes when we work together, but I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to share with you the experiences. The how comes later. For me, then that doesn't feel like a bait and switch. Right? And again, tap into your own divine self and follow your heart, right? Follow your intuition. Because for you, that might make perfect sense. Oh yeah, I'm totally going to give them the what, and I don't need to give them the how. There's no judgment. Always, there's no judgment, right? It's just being clear with yourself, being radically honest, with yourself, right? And and there'll be some quote unquote gurus will say, if you give people the how, then there's no reason for them to hire you. And I don't quite buy into that. I mean, I understand what they're saying logically. I do. Like I get it. Logically, I get it. But again, internally, that's just like, I don't know about that. So for me, it'll be, I guess, what I would suggest is experiment. Marketing is one, and sales is just one big experiment anyhow. But so have some fun with it. Have like, oh, if I gave these 3 steps and I did the what and the how, then yeah, no one took my offer. Or I gave the what and explained I couldn't give the how, and everyone took the offer. Or I gave them one what and how, but told them 7 other whats. And then they like it really, this is what it is. This is what it is, right? Is an opportunity to play. And so I guess the last message is, can you be more playful? Would you be willing to be more playful in your offers, in your marketing, in your sales quote unquote process? Right? And for me, for years, I was so very rigid. Like it has to be this way, right? There's my brain can go into rigidity, not as easily anymore, but certainly in my past, right? And so I had to like not only to have a rigid brain, like when I made a decision, but also like my personality can be of that as well. So then step back and go, am I being rigid in this? Like, do I actually believe that there's only one way? Oh, there we go. There's the skin the cat. Sorry, everyone. I would never skin a cat. I love animals. There's more than one way to peel an orange. How about I do that instead? For anyone listening, please know that I've never skinned a cat. I have no desire to skin a cat. It was something my grandfather said. He died 10 years ago when he was 90. It was a long time ago, right? And things like that could be said without being offensive to anyone. Right? So just making a note for the world of YouTube. Oh, there's more than one way to peel an orange. There is not a right way to peel an orange. Although some people might say there's only one way, right, to peel an orange. And so I think that was the last of oh, my grandfather's here today with me, shaking his head and laughing at me. Laughing with me, still laughing at me. Oh, thank you. All right, let me just, as always, we'll stop